servicing costs on the debt that you're going to have to carry, that you're adding to now, right?
Interest rates are at historic lows, Glenn.
Is it time for the Canadian housing market to finally crash? If you're a Canadian homeowner, a Canadian who wants to own a home, or just Canadian, you need to understand this graph. The statistic that this graph is showing is debt divided by GDP. In essence, the amount of money that people are borrowing divided by the national productivity. And this chart is very interesting because it compares Japan's boom and bust in the late 90s compared to now, where Canada has a higher debt to GDP ratio than Japan did in the 90s. Does this mean the housing market is going to crash to zero tomorrow or the week after or the month after that? No. Does this mean that Japan in the late 90s versus Canada now have similar demographic cycles, sociological trends, economic context, banking policies? Yes. While this graph does not guarantee that the Canadian housing market is going to crash anytime soon, what I can tell you is that debt divided by GDP is a metric that only stays elevated for so long before we see a reversion to the mean. What is going on in Canada could be considered unsustainable, but hey, stranger things have happened.